Angie Fenimore here. I'm a New York Times bestselling author and I'm the Calliope writing coach. The question I hear more often than any other is, how do I get an agent? When I present at writers' conferences on the subject, those classes are always standing room only. Whether or not you've ventured into that cold and confusing water or you've stacked up a pile of rejections, this is for you. If you're shooting for a Big Five publisher, an agent is your only access. And even if you aren't, an agent represents your interests and has connections to acquisitions editors that you couldn't reach otherwise. While there are certain genres and particular authors who are better served by rowing that boat out into the wide and raging sea on their own, by and large, agents are still the gatekeepers. That said, if you've queried agents and gotten rejections, that is not a good reason to self-publish. If agents are saying no, then you've likely got manuscript problems and you aren't going to be any more successful by self-publishing. If agents are saying no, readers will likely say no too. And when you self-publish, you don't have the cred or the reach that a reputable publisher lends you. So there are good reasons that you might consider self-publishing, but rejections from agents isn't one of them. There are 3 effective ways of getting an agent. You can query, which is a little like cold calling. Reputable agents often get hundreds of submissions every week. An intern is likely going to get that submission first and only send the submissions that look like winners on to that agent. The second is playing the hashtag games on Twitter. You can research hashtag MSWL or manuscript wishlist, hashtag PitMad, and hashtag PitchWars. The overarching rule is that your manuscript must be completed, polished, and unpublished. And the third, and by far the most effective, is to pitch at a conference. The worst thing that you can do is to take any of these steps before your manuscript is ready. If your manuscript isn't really ready, whether you query or pitch, you're blowing your shot. Getting in front of an agent is a lot like getting on Shark Tank. You've got to be agent ready. Now, we're in a unique position at Calliope. Our ever-expanding list of agents, acquisitions editors, and film and TV producers will hear pitches from authors who haven't completed their manuscripts. At other conferences, if you're writing fiction, the manuscript must be ready to submit, and nonfiction writers must be ready with a proposal. Our agents say it over and over again at the Crucible Advanced Pitch Conference, Calliope's pitch conference. Send your best work, not necessarily your quickest. If you get a yes at a pitch conference, that window stays open for a couple of years. If you jump that gun and your project isn't ready, you'll get a no. And that no is finite, and it extends to the entire agency. You can nail that pitch, but your manuscript better be a match for that query or pitch. One of the reasons Calliope is so effective is because we train you in how to pitch, and because the agents and the other gatekeepers who are hearing your pitches are consistently impressed by those pitches, and they are then impressed by the projects our students submit. You first want to make sure that they're a match for you and that you're a match for them. You have to know what they're looking for. Do your research. Make sure that what you're writing is on that agent's manuscript wish list. If you're writing memoir, don't submit or pitch to agents who aren't on the hunt for riveting memoir. You can go to manuscriptwishlist.com to find out what agents are looking for and to get a feel for who they are. Now let's talk about first impressions. Once you have a good list of reputable agents who are on the hunt for riveting memoir, you want to make sure that what you're offering is truly riveting. That all comes down to how you tell that story, the design of the story. First impressions are everything when it comes to getting into a position with agents where you can make a lasting impression. Agents aren't looking for something that's never been done before. They want to know that you have a fresh take, a unique twist on what's worked in the past. Your writing project must be competitive, hence comps or profile of competition. A comp is another book or film that is like yours and that was commercially successful. You want to know your comps. 2 or 3 is the ideal number. They should be recent, published within the last 5 years. And they should have been commercially successful without being runaway successes like The Hunger Games, Harry Potter, or Eat, Pray, Love. If you use Harry Potter as a comp, You'll look like an amateur, like nobody in their right mind would actually compare themselves to the great J.K. Rowling. Now, if Harry Potter is actually a good comp for you, find comps for Harry Potter and use those. For example, the project I'm currently working on, The Crybaby Files, has been requested by Amazon and HBO. My comps are Big Little Lies, Little Fires Everywhere, and The Husband's Secret. They were all bestsellers, but only one of them is less than 5 years old, Little Fires Everywhere. But they've all become TV series within the last 5 years, with The Husband's Secret in pre-production. So that gives them a reset. That they've all been adapted for long-form TV within 5 years makes them less than 5 years since publication. Know your comps. You can subscribe to publishersmarketplace.com and look up agent stats. You're looking for the up-and-comers. I signed with Kelly Sonic at Andrea Brown before she was ever at Andrea Brown. And I signed with Jill Marshall before she consistently held the #1 place for dealmakers. Now, here's a quick list of do's and never ever don'ts. Do deliver a tight, pithy pitch. It's a pitch. Your job is to snag their attention so that they ask to review your project, not to try to cram every character, every subplot into that tight space. Tease them in so there's an opening, an invitation to send pages. Do be funny if you have the opportunity. Do be professional. You will blow your opportunity if they get any sense that you're unprofessional or difficult to work with. Do follow their submission guidelines to a T. Now for the don'ts and never evers. In your bio, don't list your entire curriculum vitae. If you have writing cred, lead with that. If you have won multiple awards, pick the top 3 and leave out anything that isn't impressive. Never ever say that your kids or your grandkids or your writers group loved your manuscript. You will look like an amateur. Never ever say that you've been writing for your whole life, that it's your dream, etc. Agents hear that all the time. If it's the truth and you just can't help yourself, find a moving or funny way to relate that information inside of storytelling. You're demonstrating your ability to tell story after all. Here's the point. You are creating credibility, reliability, and relatability. Here's my opening, for example. Hi, I'm Angie Fenimore. I'm a New York Times bestselling author. I've signed 6-figure book deals with the Big Five, and I've signed with some of the industry's top deal-making literary agents. Then I say, and I'm a mom and a grandmama. Let me tell you the difference between the two. I'd run into a burning building to save any one of them, but my grandchildren can smear poo on the wall, and it's just cute. And then I wait for the laughter to die down, and then I say, oh look, she's an artist just like her grandmama. So you can see how I created credibility and reliability with my publishing success. And then I delivered on relatability and my ability to tell story with poo on the wall. Now, you might not want to say poo on the wall, but I can do that. And I should do something like that because with my publishing stats, I can also create distance, or I can occur intimidating or like I'm bragging. Then you launch right into the pitch. You've got to hook us and get your point of view character on the page on the first line, followed by the setting. And you can't tell us. It has to unfold in tight, compelling storytelling. Then the conflict, followed by your third trifail cycle cliffhanger. Be ready to tell them how it all wraps up, but leave them wanting to ask you more questions. Be professional. Stand out, but don't be crazy. Be authentic. In a pitch, you've got 3 minutes to accomplish all of this. At the Crucible Advanced Pitch Conference here at Calliope, we work with an amazing, ever-expanding pool of top deal-making literary agents. We work with publishers from Shadow Mountain to Tor, film producers who've made movies like Deadpool and the Pirates franchise. In the years of running the Crucible and having served hundreds of participants, we've never had a student who didn't receive at least one submission request. And most of our students leave the conference with several requests. Now, I know I fire hose you, and I've only got 10 minutes here, but in the Submission Possible series, we train you in how to write spellbinding story, how to brand yourself, and so much more. You then have the opportunity to do the Crucible. If you want to learn more, you can check out the Submission Possible series on my Instagram page, or you can go to my website at CalliopeWritingCoach.com. we deep dive into everything an author needs to be successful.